Thanks, Joshua. I like how Joshua brings the opportunity for singing in, because our own voice is such a powerful healing mechanism for ourselves that the more that we can speak, the more that we can hum, the more that we can bring that toning into our presence, into our bodies. The science has proven the vagus nerve is activated. It all works in healing from within. I think I shared with you all before, the cats purr, right?
Yeah.
They do it really well. It's very healing. So Father's Day, yes. These Father's Day, Mother's Day for me is very tricky. It's tricky because I know that not everybody's had a wonderful experience with their parents or a parent. And there's those that are mothers that have to take on the father's role as well. And there's those that are fathers that have to take on the mother's role. And so I'm very aware of that fact that it's not, it's not necessarily my experience, as I've shared with you before. I mean, my experience was I had great parents and I had a wonderful childhood, and I look at my life and go, wow, I won the lottery where I was born and in the house I was born, and that's a great thing, but it's not the same for everybody. And so in Unity, in our metaphysics, I'm going to share with you from Charles Filmore, who's one of the co-founders of Unity. The Bible is interpreted not as mere history, which we don't even really look at it as history at all, but as a blueprint of human consciousness. And so the way I look at the Bible and the way I read any spiritual wisdom teachings is to ask the question is, how does this show up in me? How is this a place for my consciousness? Or what can I glean from this for myself? And so the Father isn't an external biological figure or a bearded man in the sky. Did anybody think that when they were a kid? Yeah, I had that idea that, there's some guy up there who's judging me and he's got it all mapped out. Turns out that was not true. Father is the divine intellect, the realm of truth, wisdom, and ideas. And we touched on this a little bit when I did the tour of the hemispheres. Mother is the divine heart, the realm of love, feeling, and substance that gives those ideas form. So when we think about this, if we're aiming for something in our life, it's great to have an idea, right? To have an idea. But when we can bring in the emotion and the depth of our heart and our love into that idea, right? We start bringing a frequency that goes above the intellect and rises up that idea. So the more that we can bring the two together, the wisdom and the love, when we can bring those together and operate in balance, that's when life can be really a blessing to each one of us, and more importantly, I'd say, to the others around us, right? To those that we are actually in connection with and community with. So if you were looking at this, like the Father's Day, as a place to acknowledge, we might think of it more as something that we can aspire to in, if we go back to imagination, in looking at the ideas that we can have. And so when I think of the masculine energy within myself, I tend to think of it of more of what can I get done? Right? It's got that very, let's go, let's get action. And you recall maybe, as I've shared before, when I went through seminary, one of the things that I heard from when I did my license and ordination meetings was, Thomas should drop from his head to his heart. Imagine if he could do that. So that has been my goal since becoming a Unity minister, is to bring more and more of the feminine into my life, that more of that heart, that love that I can bring to the world, because I have the discipline, I have the ability to create ideas and be very, very focused on things. And sometimes in my past, it has led to others feeling not involved or not loved, not appreciated, while I'm just doing my thing. Anybody experience that for themselves, or any people like that, where they're just on a mission, right? They're just doing their thing, and there's a wake behind them that might not be very pleasant. And that is what I would call like real masculine energy at perhaps its worst, you could say. Today, if we look around the world, what do we see? At least, let me rephrase that. What I notice, because I don't know what everybody else sees, we all interpret the world differently. What I see is a lot of masculine energy running loose, making decisions, doing things that does not have a lot of heart in it, that does not have a lot of that love and that feminine side to it. And if there's anything that we could do now in this world, in my opinion, would be to bring ourselves back into a balance. And what I'm sometimes fearful of is that we will go to the far extreme of the other side, and that will also be some form of chaos. It won't be the same, it'll be different. But what we really need to do is find that balance in life where we're bringing the wisdom and the intellect along with the love and the harmony, right? And marrying them together in such a way that we all feel at ease, we all feel peace, we all feel welcomed wherever we are, and we're able to shine that light for others, to give others permission to do the same thing, to be in the same place and the same state. I have something here from... So Eric Butterworth, Eric Butterworth, for those that don't know, is one of our great Unity ministers. He's no longer with us, but he had a congregation in New York that on Sundays was at Carnegie Hall and was 2,000 to 2,500 people every Sunday when he spoke. And he's written some amazing books. But his call was to liberate the divine feminine with all persons. Explore how fathers, men, and all people need to let the truth drop from the head to the heart. Does everybody understand what that means? To be able to soften in a moment? You know, I have this thing that I like, PBS, pause, breathe, soften, to be able to bring ourselves, like kind of take a step back. Michael Singer, you know, the idea of looking at ourselves in the moment, seeing how we're showing up, and being able to drop ourselves down into a state or a space where we can really hear and see the other person and try to put ourselves in their space. It's hard to do when we're elevated, my nice word for angry. It's hard to do when we're elevated in that moment, but imagine if we could find that moment. And I kind of think of it as we need to notice, right? We need to notice that what we're doing in that moment. We need to be able to see ourselves and then remember. So it's like there's two steps, right? I got to notice first, and then I have to remember what there is to do. And it just takes practice. So don't be harsh on yourself when it's not quite working, when you haven't quite figured it out. Just remember that you know, every day we get to do it all again, right? There's a whole new opportunity each day. Isn't it? Doesn't it look that way? So the challenge here that I see is to really notice that, right? That seems to be, from everything I've looked at in my life, that seems to be the hardest challenge. And if I turn this now to a reflection of my own fatherhood, because I am grateful that I am a father and I have two wonderful kids. And, you know, as I said when I started off, there was, I had a good childhood, but there were things about it that I didn't like, that I did not want to replicate to my kids. So one was, I did not like being forced to go to Sunday school or go to church on Sunday, especially when I got older. And my dad's rule was, if you lived in the house, you go to church on Sunday. Or there's the door. I mean, it was literally like that. So I did not put that on my children. I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. Another thing, and you might find this funny, was, I grew up a rock drummer, loving progressive music, Rush, Pink Floyd. Yes, bands like that were what I used to practice. And my dad loved Nana Muscuri. So I can't think of two things perhaps further away from each other. And when we were in his car or in his house, we listened to Nana Muscuri. That wasn't the only thing. There was some Tom Jones, which I could enjoy a little bit of, but aside from that, it was a lot of music that I didn't like. And he would never listen to my music. So I also have a rule that when we travel as a family, there's a playlist where everybody gets to contribute to the playlist. And we listen to whatever songs come on, and we support one another. And I'm happy to say that, my daughters and I, they'll be 20 in July, we're all friends. We're all fans of Coldplay, and I'm fans of Ariana Grande. I love some of her music. Like, there's a real ability for us to appreciate each other's style of music. And I'm so glad that I stopped that practice of, what's it?
Broadway.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and there's some Broadway music too. I forgot. But I'm so glad that I ended that practice of this is, it's my house, my car, my way. That's not how, my wife Leslie and I have chose to run our household. We've actually decided that these people, they're people. They have ideas. They have things that they require. So how can we, lean into that as a parent and allow them to be human beings and allow them to grow? And so I guess I'm saying this for, if there's any young men out there, any young fathers out there that are either here present or going to watch this online, that the best advice I could give you is to allow people to be who they are, to explore that, right? To just let them find out who they are. Where they're actually given the opportunity to be seen and to be heard, and it's not just my way or the highway, which is anybody else raised in that environment, kind of a little bit sturdiness? Yeah. It's this is the way it is, and that's all there is to it. And I love my dad, but that I didn't really enjoy so much. That wasn't a great thing. So I think I'll leave. I'm going to share with you. I asked my kids, Tatum and Brooke, I said, hey, I'd like you to be completely honest, and you can say whatever you need to say, even if it's if it's something I could do better. How is your experience of me as your dad? And so they both took the opportunity to share with me, and I would like to share that with you if that's okay. It's very short, but this is what my daughters had to say. You're really supportive. You never say anything to bring us down. I feel very loved and appreciated by you. You're just the epitome of a girl dad. That's one, yeah. Great. The other one sent, I admire your ability to stay calm and positive in hard situations. You believe in us more than we could ever believe in ourselves, and you think anything is possible. #GOAT. So, I share that with you because I like to think or see that I did do the things that I intended with raising our kids. And as hard as it was sometimes to want to tell them how to do it or what to do or what they couldn't do, it's hard to back off and just allow them to experience it. I kind of put it like this, that don't put your face on the element of the stove when it's hot. I need to really push that. What kind of music they listen to, or whether they sit at the table or dance around the table when they eat dinner, I can let that go. Right? That's a rule I don't need to make, but these other rules I kind of need to put in place so that they don't hurt themselves, right? And so if, when you're raising kids, if you have grandkids, anything like that, that's how I would suggest that we allow them to be who they are and let them explore their true selves and their true identity, just as you would want. Right now, if somebody was telling me 8 years ago, you can't go do Unity, I would think that's crazy. Like, what do you mean I can't? That's nuts. Of course I'm going to go do what I want to do. So it's kind of a balance in there. And that comes from a balance of the wisdom and the intellect with the love and the harmony. How can we bring that into all of our situations? And so I invite you to join me as we just take a few moments to honor both the love and the wisdom within ourselves and with one another.